African-American studies is a field where it's very interdisciplinary. So they actually touch all types of topics. And so a lot of times people hear African-American studies and they think it's African-American history. And history is only one of the disciplines in that large umbrella. Music history, anthropology, cultural anthropology, sociology. We do business when we're talking about the music industry connected to popular music, for example. When we think about religious music and also the theology and the doctrine that goes along with that.
I'm not a historian, but thanks to the interdisciplinary nature of our program, I do work in history and historical subjects. But we also look at Octavia Butler's Kindred, so science fiction, time travel novel. We look at graphic novels and comic books. We even look at romance novels that happen to take place during the antebellum period. No matter what you're doing or what you're interested in, it can be enriched by a greater understanding of Black life and culture.
In my classes, we always talk about the founding of African American studies in American universities because it's actually a part of a student movement. We know about the Civil Rights Movement and the Black Power movement, but in the midst of that Black Power movement, you had college-age students saying, why am I not learning about where I come from? Why am I not learning Africa? Why are there no African language courses in my college courses? Why am I learning Greek and French and Latin, but I'm not learning Swahili or Yoruba? How can you be inclusive of people if you don't know their stories? If you don't know their research, you don't know their contributions to American society. You can't do one and not do the other.
African American Studies has played a major role in the development of my worldview. And African American Studies supported what I had been learning in my community, what I've been learning in church. It answered those questions for me that I've been asking in school. When are we gonna read something about Black people?
I enjoy teaching the African American Studies 201 course. It's the first course that many of the students have taken, and so they're getting their feet wet with African American Studies. I'm always interested in looking at their reaction, observing their reaction when they realize that there is a genuine African American history.
So my first AFAM course here was African American Studies 201, which is Historical and Social Foundations, and I took it with Dr. Singleton. Loved every second Bowman class. Like, I looked forward to going to that class, and it was a night class too. Just me, like, knowing my interest in the arts, like fashion, art itself, music, and then being able to sit in a class where I only learned about Black people in that field, it just, I don't know, like, it just made me happy. This is it. I need to learn everything that I can.
But it was Dr. Trafton's course, and it was about seeing race and vision through African American literature. The biggest thing that I learned from it is just being affirmed in who I am as a Black woman. I would read this stuff and be like, yeah, I get it.
One of the things I wanted to do was teach those kind of courses to students who had enrolled at the University of South Carolina, because I knew they probably might not hear about them just like I didn't. They're powerful stories. They are American history stories, but they get slotted off to the side as being Black stories. And I see what happens to my students. And one student said to me, I wish I had known this when I was a little Black girl growing up in South Carolina. I wonder how it might have changed my life.
The classes that are offered here are just stellar. We've got some of the best faculty and staff members you possibly could have. I'm most proud about that.
For a lot of us in our classes, they're discussion based. So, you know, what do you think about this? You know, for the first time they're thinking, oh, wow, if somebody wants to know what I think, you know, so.
They have a safe space in the classroom to do that.
Learning to engage in intense debate with peace at the center. Those were real competencies that I developed in African American Studies that have certainly followed me throughout my career.
People graduate high school and they come to college. They don't often know what an African American Studies program might do, but then they take a class with us or they take a class with Kim. Part of our goal is to let all USC students know that they should at least take one class while they're here.
Exactly.